Hey guys, what's up? You're watching part 2 of my history on Disney ride systems. If you haven't already, be sure to check out part 1. I have a link down below in the description. Or don't. Alright, here we go. Universe of Energy, which opened in 1982, was another significant step forward. This ride utilized a system called the Traveling Theater, and in this ride, you started out in this big theater. You would watch this movie, and it would spin around, and then the little pieces of the theater would break up, and how do I describe this ride? Basically, it was literally called the Traveling Theater because the show started in a theater which rotated, and then individual sections would line up single file into more or less of a dark ride before regrouping once more into a theater, if that makes any sense at all. It's hard to explain. I think the innovation that they really got out of this was the AGV vehicles. The more acute riders may notice that there is no track on the ground, and the vehicles seem to glide free form. In reality, these were AGVs, or Automated Guided Vehicles, and they followed an underground radio frequency on a wire that kept them on the path. The AGVs were used again in the Great Movie Ride, and most efficiently in Disney World's Tower of Terror. If you've been on it before, then you may remember that you start off lifting up the elevator, and then before you drop, you actually roll forward in this sort of starfield sequence, and once again, there is no track. It's the same technology. I think the idea of a trackless ride system makes the most sense when you really want to eliminate the amount of things that can go wrong with moving parts. This was something that was really necessary for Tower of Terror. Now, it's kind of hard to talk about one of these systems without talking about the other because they are very similar in concept, so I'm just going to do them both at the same time. The Enhanced Motion Vehicle is the ultimate culmination and mixture of an attraction technology, combining the sophisticated computer operations of the slot cars with the practicality of a simulator. Now, Imagineers can pretty precisely manipulate the exact speeds and angles of the individual vehicles to create a truly immersive experience. So while the basic movement of the vehicle was dictated by the track, the vehicle could simulate a really bumpy road or sharp turn with the simulator's movement. The Enhanced Motion Vehicle was first used in Disneyland's Indiana Jones Adventure in 1995, then DINOSAUR in 1998. Now onto the slot cars. An early version of the slot car technology was used as a system for rocket rods at Disneyland. For those that don't know, rocket rods is probably Disney Imagineering's biggest epic fail. This crappy attraction replaced the People Mover, arguably one of the best attractions of all time, and was plagued by technical problems and severe downtime for its mere 2-year tenure. There's a lot more to that story, but what's relevant here is that Test Track, which adapted the same technology, encountered equally as many problems, if not more, during its construction in early years of operation. I remember when this ride opened when I was a kid, and what I can say is that this ride was awesome when it worked. I think the coolest part of the ride was the sophistication to how the vehicles could start, stop, and change speeds and otherwise maneuver themselves. They were on a track, of course, but it really handled like an actual vehicle. Because these vehicles had to make a lot of sudden starts and stops, they adapted the same concept of being independently controlled and monitored by an overall computer. Now, the technology being used obviously changed a lot over the years, but the principles were still the same. So how have these technologies changed the industry? Well, as I've mentioned earlier, simulators are used throughout all theme parks now, but Disney was the first to really make them practical. I think Universal actually took a lot of Disney's innovations and kind of one-upped them and combined them together to make them kind of better. For example, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey one-ups the Enhanced Motion Vehicle but uses turntable synchronization that was first used by Disney. This is a very good idea because in my opinion, it's a great way of combining the technologies of practical effects with visual effects. But the idea of synchronizing something up to your track was not invented by Universal. Disney actually tried it out first in the 80s when they built Journey into Imagination. And on this ride, for the first 5 minutes or something like that, there's this giant sequence where all the individual vehicles would turn and sync up with the turntable, which I think is pretty cool. So there you have it, that's a quick history of the Disney ride systems, and if you made it this far in the video, then congratulations and thank you. Maybe consider looking down and giving this video a thumbs up. I'm going to try and put out a new video every week, we'll see how that goes. If you guys have any ideas for video suggestions or anything you want me to talk about, please let me know. I'll be happy to take it into consideration, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you.